Okay, we're starting.
Sea, soaked in blood, with your tongue in shards of broken English, in a secret language, with bullets ringing like Christmas bells, in a matchbox church on a hilltop, on restless plantations, 2 a.m. at a street side dance on top of a speaker box.
So, why do you write?
Okay. I think I write because I have to. Not in the sense that there's anybody forcing me to write, but I can't even describe it. It's just that I get this urge to, express myself in this way, and it almost feels torturous. Like I know when I need to write, and if I don't get the words out on the page, I feel tortured for days. And so in a sense, I think I write because I have to. One of my favorite things that I've ever written was, I hate everything. I hate everything that I write. Like everything. There has not been a piece that I've looked back on and appreciated it. I appreciate it, but I'm not in love with it anymore. And I don't know if that's a good thing or what. I don't know, but there isn't a piece that I really like very much. But my most recent piece, and maybe it's because it's recent why I like it so much, but my most recent piece I wrote for my poetry class, and it's called There Are More Beautiful Things Than Waiting. And I really like that piece because I'm very vulnerable in poetry, but that's the most vulnerable I've ever had to be. And so it was a new level of not just like learning to write these feelings into, this artistic framework, but also being very vulnerable. So yeah, I think the piece was about like my sexuality and how that intersects with my blackness and the kinds of violences that I experienced on this campus because of it, and not just on this campus but in this world really. I remember the first time I wrote a poem, and I thought that all the poets before me were just tripping. Like there was never, I just thought that my poetry was going to change the world. And I wrote my first poem in grade 9, and it was a poem I'm so embarrassed about it now. But the poem was about, it had a lot of teenage angst, about the philosophy of existence and like, why am I here on earth? And like, it was just really, really angsty. I still dig the rhythm of that poem. I just hate the poem as a concept, no. But yeah, I do remember it was grade 9, and it was at a time when there were maybe 10 of us in my friend group who were just in love with poetry. We were reading so much Caribbean poetry, American poetry, British poetry, and we were trying to imitate those styles. So yeah, it was. I still like the poem, parts of it, but it's interesting to see my growth and how much I've kind of moved into myself, because there's just so much that poem was trying to do, just in terms of describing who I am as a person, alluding to certain parts of my personality that I was so insecure about. And I think my language was so incredibly vague and just not precise at all. And I look back at that and see that it functioned in a way to kind of protect me. But I've kind of moved into this space now where I'm like, you know what, maybe I don't need that as much anymore. I don't need that kind of protection in my poetry. Yeah, and I'm just much more open about, still writing those poems where the meaning is, of course the meaning is clear, but it's multi-layered. But also writing poems where sometimes I'm direct and like I say what I want. I wrote a poem about, just the other day I wrote a poem about dildos, and just like being really direct about it, so yeah.
I'm good.